So what's the hardest part about rolling a cigar?
The part where I'm doing right now is the cap. When you're a man, when you've got actual man hands, and you're trying to do a little finesse work with the cap, it's not simple at all. That is probably the hardest part of actually doing it. The blending is not all that hard. Like the bunching itself, it's the little finesse work that you have to do, and you just have to learn how to be gentle with your hands. Because if not, you'll rip wrapper in a heartbeat.
No, not that way.
You were down there for 9 days.
Yep.
You guys learned that in 9 days.
I actually was fortunate enough to pick it up quickly. Well, what the biggest problem was is they told me that I would never learn how to put wrapper on because my hands were too big. They used to laugh at me and they would look and they would just say grande, you know, and they would laugh and walk away. So that just made me a little bit more determined. I mean, I just thought they were talking about my stomach, you know, but they were talking about my hands. So, yeah, I was 9 days. But, you know, I come home and practice a little bit, and then a month later they put me out on the road. This is, you know, out on the road doing this full time. So I enjoy it. Now in the factory, you know, the step that I'm doing right here where I'm having to roll the edges out, they don't have to do this. That wrapper, once it goes to their table, it's prepared, it's ready to go. You know, they just slap it on the table and start going. But because I'm traveling with it, I have to roll the edges out and you know, get it prepped, because you don't want the edges all rolled in when you're doing this, because you got that fine little cut right here on the outside. The less you cut off the edge, the better. Just because this is the majority of your flavor is in this outer part. That's all new growth. All right, we just get rid of this part here. It's not necessary. There's actually less flavor in this piece than there is all in here. Sauce making me want to drink beer. You know, sometimes you get leaves that just don't want to work with you. It happens sometimes. That normally happens when someone's videotaping me. Is I'll find a leaf that doesn't want to work with me, and I'm like, can we start this over again? So, just like in the factory, it's tough when people are watching. You have to get used to people watching you roll. It doesn't bother me now. I guess I'm an exhibitionist now. But in the factory, when Americans go down to see the factories and stuff like that, it actually disrupts the factory. They work less because they don't know how to work in front of people. They don't know how to act when people are standing over them watching them. They're used to the quality control watching them, but somebody they've never seen, somebody they don't know, makes them nervous.
A good roller is doing how many in an hour or a day?
They're doing about 250 a day in a pair. So they're doing about 250 to 300 per day. So I mean, and they can do up to 300. I mean, it's but any more than 300 is it's getting a little too much. It's getting a little too much. But that wrapper came out pretty.